What's going on, awesome people? Rad here, and this is going to be a tarot for Virgo for the eclipse, for the lunar eclipse that happens into Leo 31st of January, at least for my part of the globe. Before we go to the spread, guys, if you want a personal reading with me, you can text me or call me at Instant Go. My account there is Tarot Predictions, or you can purchase a reading from my website www.tarotpredictions.net. Both links down there in the description of this video. Now, without further ado, for Virgos, the main topic of this lunar eclipse is going to be the Queen of Swords over here. I'm just trying to make it, more visible for you. This card is showing up, especially career-wise, guys. This is a time to unleash your creative expression. You are learning new things about your career, like taking a participation into a qualification. Maybe your boss could send you on some classes, some courses, etc., etc. But generally about your career, this card shows this time during this lunar cycle to add additional tools into your arsenal of how you perform yourself moving on forward. Now, that being said, guys, it is very important, however, to be kind of mature toward these things. You shouldn't accept it as a joke, or likely neglect a certain knowledge which a group of people or a certain person is trying to pass on you. But in general, this card shows that there will be a new tasks coming in for you, which you will require to sprue your knowledge and your skills. Talking about your relationship with this card, guys, that particular cycle is going to be by acquiring maturity into one relationship, where it's not going to be that much about love, but it's going to be about compatibility in between you and your partner, how much you can stand your partner, how much they can stand you, and also clearing out some misunderstandings in behavior. It is not about a point of view, but it is in behavior, so you can start kind of like mutually living together in case you aren't, or it is kind of like alignment with one another with the ongoing routine. Now, the next card, it is showing up what you need to stand against, okay, or the difficulties, and that will be the moon card. And when we talk about the moon card, the card signifies vagueness, guys, signifies insecurity due to incapability to understand what comes up next. So it's kind of like, even though you have these skills you will acquire into your career and that knowledge, maybe you will have a second thought, or kind of like you will be baffled. Why do I need these things? Also, the card shows that you may spot some surreptitious activities into your career, which is going to make you feel very reluctant about moving on in this particular place. Maybe you will uncover some suspicious activity into your career, and you will be reluctant telling about that, okay? But nonetheless, the card shows that you may start fearing that the place you are working at, it is not exactly the one that will give you the full unfoldment for yourself, as a person who wants to reach the very maximum out of their capabilities. Talking about relationship, guys, the card says that pretty much when you start negotiating or kind of like clearing out misunderstandings with your partner, things will start getting good, very good. And this is the insecurity here. You will start thinking of that your relationship is way too good to be true. It's kind of like a dream of relationship. Okay, so you will start putting under questioning every win, or kind of like, every win that you achieve during this kind of maturity process you will have in between you and your partner, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, guys. It is just you need to have a little bit more faith in the determination of your partner that is willing to change in order to align the things with you and to make the relationship work out. The next card, it is showing up the intentions you need to have. While talking about career with the Temperance card, it speaks that you need to be calm, guys. All the issues that you have, all the knowledge that you will receive into your career, and all the interactions you will have with other people that are trying to teach you with something or trying to present you with something, you need to kind of like face them with patience and understanding, and as well open-minded. It is all about combining the differences here. It is all about working with two opposites. So maybe you will have to kind of like get rid of some outdated thoughts or outdated knowledge, you know, especially if you are, for example, computer engineer. I mean, the computer languages are changing every day, for what I know, and you are coming up, and maybe this is going to be a time where you will decide that you need to study a new one. And thus, because I had a little bit of a practice in that, and thus you need to start thinking according to the new language, which will kind of kill the thinking of the old language. Because I know that if you are a programmer, you don't make the machine to think like you. You need to be the one who thinks like the machine in order to make a program out there for the computer. Anyway, so this is pretty much what the Temperance says about your career. Every single issue that you have will be resolved while you calmly approach it with no drastic measures. And if you do so, you will see that the activities which till now are kind of igniting in you aggravation, and they were pretty boring to attend to, now they will start giving you a pleasure actually to cope with. Talking about your relationship, guys, with that card, it is more like showing understanding, you know, and realizing that it goes both ways. You don't have to be the only one who makes the compromise, but it doesn't have to be also your partner the only one to make a compromise. Now, this card, from another point of view, it speaks for detachment, so you can refine the new meaning of love and to attach into someone else for some of you. So if you are, however, in a relationship beyond any repairing, and you feel that you cannot make a compromise, guys, this card is a clear sign that you basically need to find the strength within yourself to detach from it. The next card, it is showing up as the lesson you need to learn, and that is the Nine of Cups during this cycle. And for career, it is pretty simple because the lesson shows that if you don't like what you are doing, or certain activities into your career that you are doing, if you don't do them with joy, if you don't do it with do them with passion, but just because for the idea of doing it, of doing them, and for the you know, the strings that you do have with that career, with that particular firm to do them, they simply, even if they're pushed through the very end, they simply won't be as good as they would have been if you actually enjoy doing them. And that's why it's about patience, and it's about understanding, guys, that the opposites, there is also value in the opposites. And if you do so, you will see that, like, the fortune itself is laying a radiating light with full fistfuls upon you, which means that everything you attend to is going to start basically being pushed through. Talking about your relationship with this card, guys, it's simply as that: do whatever makes you happy. Okay, if the relationship makes you happy, then you need to put everything you got in it so you can stabilize it, sustain it, or push it forward. If you're feeling happy more alone, you don't have to stay in that relationship just for the idea to be with someone that you don't love. And last card here, it is the energies which are going to support you during this period of time, Virgos, and that will be the Three of Swords. And you will be very, very strong, guys, even though this is a negative card, or rather unpleasant card, because in tarot there is no negative or positive cards. There are pleasant and unpleasant cards, because in the very deep foundation of the cards, these are lessons that we need to learn along our way, along our life path. Anyway, even though it's unpleasant, it is unpleasant card, it falls into a position energy which are supporting you, and as energy which are supporting you, you will be very strong and very open for receiving a certain statements and truths which usually would have make you feel very miserable and very emotionally upset. Now you are gonna face them with dignity. It's just these energies will give you the strength, guys, not to look weak in front of other people, especially if we're talking about relationship, and you decide that you need to detach from that relationship. You will have no problem whatsoever to announce that in front of your partner, knowing that even if it is painful, it is something necessary to be done. But talking about your your career, this card points successful deflection of the attacks and the kind of like insults of the people around you, especially if you are working into a very hostile environment. So that was the your tarot reading, Virgos, for the lunar eclipse into Leo happening in 31st of January, at least at my part of the globe. And I hope, guys, it is at least remotely helpful to your situation. And if it does, please give us the thumbs ups as well. As always, guys, stay positive and informed. Rat signing out now. See you next time. Bye.